I want you to picture this. It's a Tuesday morning, late February 2026.
Okay.
You're sitting on your couch, maybe nursing a coffee, just scrolling through your phone. You stop on a photo you took last night.
Right.
Maybe it's just rain hitting the pavement under a street lamp, or, a picture of your dog sleeping in a weird position.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this sudden kind of weird urge.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just want to look at it. You want to know what that image sounds like.
And just to be clear, we're not talking about like pulling up a generic rain sounds playlist on Spotify.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you want a full studio quality musical track composed instantly that captures the specific vibe of that specific photo.
The whole moment.
The lighting, the texture. You want the soundtrack to that moment.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel from the 90s. But I mean, as of this month, that is basically the reality we're living in.
It really is. And that brings us to the breaking news that has been just absolutely dominating the tech blogs and the music forums this past week. Google DeepMind has just dropped Lyria 3, and they've baked it right into the Gemini app.
This is a massive release.
It is. It's no longer just about chatting with a bot or, making a picture of an astronaut riding a horse. We are talking about turning text, images, and video into high-fidelity music.
But it's not just Google, is it?
Not all.
This launch is really just the flashpoint. We're standing at this very specific, kind of pivotal moment in creativity. We've got the big three battling it out.
Google, Suno, and Udio.
Exactly. And we've got a legal landscape that has completely shifted after what they're calling the Great Settlement of 2025.
Which I know we need to get into because that changed everything.
It arguably saved the industry. And then we have this entirely new way that human musicians are actually working now.
So that is our mission today. We are going on a deep dive into the sound of 2026.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a stack of sources, technical breakdowns from Google DeepMind, hands-on reviews from Soundverse AI and Test Planet, and some pretty dense legal analysis from the Copyright Alliance.
And the goal is really to figure out, does this mean the end of the musician, or is it the beginning of something totally different?
Let's start with a shiny new toy, Lyria 3. Because for the average user, this is the most visible change. You open Gemini, and the feature is just there.
It's ubiquitous now, available to everyone 18 plus globally as of this month. But the headline feature isn't just text to audio.
Right.
I mean, we've had that for a couple of years.
Yeah. Typing "make me a jazz song" is old news. We were doing that back in 2024.
Exactly. The game changer here is what they call multimodal generation.
Multimodal. It's the buzzword of the year. But what does that actually look like in practice?
It implies a sort of cross-sensory understanding. It means you can upload an image or a video, and Lyria doesn't just look at the metadata, file name, sunset.jpg.
Okay.
It effectively sees the visual composition. It analyzes the colors, the lighting, the mood, and it generates a soundscape to match it.
I saw a hilarious example in the DeepMind blog to prove this.
Yeah.
They used a prompt asking for a comical R&B slow jam about a sock finding their match.
Which, honestly, I would listen to.
Right. But the fascinating part was how they showed you could feed it a photo of a stark brutalist building lots of concrete and sharp angles, or a soft, blurred sunset, and get totally different sonic results without typing a single word about the genre.
That's the magic. But we should probably unpack how it's doing that, because it isn't magic, it's math. Specifically, a technology called MMDIT.
MMDIT, multimodal diffusion transformers. Now, try to explain this without losing everyone who doesn't have a PhD in computer science.
Challenge accepted. So think of it like this. In the AI's brain, what we call the latent space, it doesn't treat a pixel from an image and a sound wave from an audio file as different things.
Yeah.
It treats them as part of the same language.
So to the AI, red and loud are just connected concepts.
Precisely. It's almost like the AI has synesthesia, where some people can hear colors.
Yeah. Yeah, like seeing the letter A and seeing it as red.
It's exactly like that. So
Yeah.
a sharp, high-contrast photo lots of jagged lines, bright whites and dark blacks, that triggers what the AI recognizes as sharp audio transients.
So like crisp snare drums, staccato synths, sudden stops.
Exactly. Whereas a blurry pastel image...
Triggers what? Long release times, reverbs.
Washed out pads, yes. It's synthesizing the vibe across senses.
Yeah.
And because they're using this new technique called rectified flow, it's incredibly fast.
How fast are we talking?
They can generate 30 seconds of 48 kilohertz stereo audio in about 10 to 20 seconds.
And 48 kilohertz is important. Why?
That's the standard for video and film. It's not just good enough for Spotify. It's professional broadcast quality.
That speed is incredible.
Yeah.
But I also noticed they've added a feature that feels designed for the control freaks among us.
Oh, yeah.
Negative prompting.
Oh, this is crucial. If you've ever tried to use these tools in the early days, you know the frustration. You get a great track, but there's this weird, distorted robot voice in the background trying to sing nonsense words.
And you can't get rid of it. You're just stuck.
Right. Negative prompting lets you refine by subtraction. You can explicitly tell the AI, no vocals, no heavy metal guitars, no excessive reverb. It gives you a scalpel instead of a sledgehammer.
And speaking of control, we have to talk about the Jacob Collier collaboration.
Yes.
Because usually when big tech companies partner with musicians, it feels like a marketing stunt. You know, slap a face on a billboard. This feels different.
It does. Jacob Collier is, well, he's a musical genius.
A total wizard.
And he's been working with Google to develop this prompt mixing feature. He calls the technology sonic modeling clay.
I love that image. It changes the way you think about the file.
It changes the interaction entirely. Instead of typing a prompt, hitting enter, and crossing your fingers, you're in a flow state.
Okay.
You can take two distinct concepts, say 70s funk and cyberpunk ambience,
Yeah.
and you can use a slider to morph between them in real time.
So you actually hear the bass line go from organic and bouncy to like synthetic and gritty as you move your mouse.
Exactly. It moves the user from a consumer, give me a song, to a conductor. You're molding the audio while it plays.
But here's the thing. Google is making all the noise this week with Lyria 3.
Mm-hmm.
But they are stepping into a ring that is already occupied by some very heavy hitters. We need to talk about the Battle of the Titans.
It really is a three-way race in 2026. And what's fascinating, looking at the reviews from Test Planet and Soundverse, is that these aren't just three versions of the same thing. They have very distinct personalities.
Okay, let's break them down. Contender number 1,
Uh.
Suno. They're on version 5 now.
Suno is the songwriter's tool. If you look at the reviews, its biggest strength is raw emotion and structure. It can generate full songs.
Up to 8 minutes long now, right?
Yeah, up to 8 minutes, with lyrics that actually make sense and rhyme schemes that work.
I saw a stat that it hit an ELO benchmark score of 1,293.
Which, for those who don't follow the benchmarks, is the highest in the industry for melody retention. Essentially, if you want an earworm,
You go to Suno.
you go to Suno. It understands what makes a human tap their foot.
Go it. There's a catch.
A small one. Reviewers note it still has a slight AI texture. A bit of a digital haze in the high frequencies. It's not always perfectly crisp. It's like a demo tape that has incredible soul, but maybe wasn't recorded in $1 million studio.
So Suno is for the viral hit, the emotional ballad. What about contender number 2, Udio?
Udio, specifically the new V2.0 update, is the studio engineer's choice. The fidelity is cleaner. You get clearer separation between the instruments.
So if Suno is a dusty vinyl record,
Udio is a pristine FLAC file, and they have that specific feature in Painting 2.0.
that is massive for professionals.
It is. Let's say the AI generates a great song, but the bridge is weak, or the lyrics in the second verse are nonsense.
Right.
With Suno, historically, you might have to regenerate the whole thing and lose the parts you like.
Which is heartbreaking. You lose that magic accident.
Well, it is. With Udio, you can in-paint. You highlight just the bridge and say, try again. You keep the rest of the track and just fix the broken part. It's surgical.
That saves so much time. And didn't I read they partnered with Universal Music Group?
They did. And that is a key differentiator. Udio is leaning heavily into licensed models. They're playing nice with the industry, which makes them very attractive for commercial work where you can't risk a copyright strike.
Which leaves us with contender 3, Lyria, the new kid on the block.
Lyria is the ecosystem play. Its strength isn't just music, it's integration. It works seamlessly with VO for video generation and Imagen for images.
So if you're a multimedia creator,
A YouTuber, a game dev, yeah. Lyria is the glue holding your project together.
So let me try to summarize the consensus here.
Yeah.
If you want a TikTok banger quickly that makes people cry, you use Suno.
Correct.
If you need precise stems for a professional production or a commercial, use Udio.
Yes.
And if you're building a whole multimedia world from scratch, use Lyria.
That's a pretty fair breakdown of the 2026 landscape. But talking about all these tools brings us to the elephant in the room,
The legal stuff.
the legal stuff.
I mean, for a while there, back in 2024, 2025, it felt like the Wild West. Artists were furious, companies were being secretive.
Yeah.
But looking at the Copyright Alliance reports, 2025 was a pivotal year. They're calling it the Great Settlement.
It really was. If you recall, early 2025 was defined by major lawsuits. You had the music labels UMG, Sony,